Dirtle Magic. Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about Casual Commander at our blog, TheDiceBag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're going to be trying out some Horde of Notions. Looking at our opening hand, we do have one rock and one land, and that doesn't cut it. Let's mulligan. New hand, land, card draw, one elemental to start with, but it is a little bit of a lord. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and keep it. Our commander is Wooburg for a legendary 5/5 elemental, Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. Wooburg, we may play an elemental card from our graveyard without paying its mana cost. On our turn, we did get to go first. We have Commander's Sphere. Let's do Sea of Clouds and cycle the Ash Barrens for a forest. We'll need that for the land search things and pass it off. Our first opponent is Daretti, Scrap Savant. 3 red for a legendary planeswalker with 3 loyalty to start. +2, discard up to 2 cards and then draw that many cards. -2, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And -10, you get an emblem with whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. This card can be used as a commander. We have a snow-covered mountain followed by a mana crypt. That's never something I like to see. It's Treasure Nabber. Luckily, we don't really need to fear that. Our next opponent is Marisi, Breaker of the Coil, 1 red, green, white for legendary 5/4 cat warrior. Your opponents can't cast spells during combat. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, go to each creature that player controls. Blossoming Sands into play for them, they gain 1 life. Other than that, our last opponent is Yawgmoth, who can be a combo-tastic commander. 2 black for a legendary 2/4 human cleric, protection from humans. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. Black, discard a card, and proliferate. Basically, we got our work cut out for us, is all I'm thinking right now. Let's go ahead and play the forest. We can do Painful Truths next turn if we want to. For now, though, we'll pass it off, nothing to play. Over to Daretti's turn, Mana Crypt will trigger for the first time this game. Let's see if they get bonked. They do, they're down to 37. Radiant Fountain into play, Daretti will gain 2 life. And a Hedron Archive. They're ramping real hard over there. Nabber on the attack. It's off into Marisi. Yeah, that's probably the more immediate threat as far as commanders go, but do not underestimate Yawgmoth, and our deck may be slow, but it will get going. Damage is good though, they're down to 38. Over to Marisi's turn. Command Tower into play, Marisi just taps it down, passes it off, over to Yawgmoth. Just a forest into play for Yawgmoth. Over to us. We get a forest. Let's do Vault of Champions. Do Painful Truths, we will have to discard 2 cards most likely, but we need to get to a red source as well. Actually, let's do Commander's Sphere instead. We'll save the Painful Truths for later. Let's pass it off. I guess we could blow up the Hedron Archive. That could be good. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Treasure Nabber will be able to get our Commander's Sphere. Let's go ahead and sacrifice it for some card draw. And evoke the Ingot Chewer. We'll destroy the Hedron Archive, taking away Daretti's draw and their ramp in one way. Yeah, that works. And we'll pass it off there. Daretti's turn, they win the flip 39, tapping all the mana for Mirror Works. Okay. Nabber on the attack, it's off into us. Yeah, it seems legit. We'll go down to 37. Marisi with a mountain followed by Kodama's Reach, doing a little bit more ramping. Wish we could. We do have some ramp in the deck. Not too much, mind you. But usually we get pretty good on lands. I've played this deck a lot, and there's 2 things I've noticed. 1, I usually get the colors I need, and 2, people really end up not liking me. Alright, forest into play. Let's see what else they got. Another forest. Yawgmoth, Ancient Tomb into play. They'll be taking 2 from that. It's Yawgmoth himself coming down. So, honest question, how many people forget he has protection from humans? I'm raising my hand. Oh, we get Exotic Orchard. That's nice. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's get down the Creeping Trailblazer. Just kind of have a blocker. Give us some options later. Let's pass it off. Forest next turn. Well, no, I guess we should do planes, maybe get to our commander and put pressure on Daretti a little bit. We can also then Wooburg in the Ingot Chewer, so that could be good. We can cast it for the evoke cost and get it back to the graveyard, but instead of red mana, it would cost the Wooburg, which isn't the best. Thrawn Dynamo coming into play for Daretti. Even more ramp. Mirrorworks will trigger for the first time this game. They did make another one. Istere Scrap Savant coming down for that player. They want the Hedron Archive back. Sacrifice the Thrawn token? No, they sacrificed the Mana Crypt. Too bad. Free damage is free. In response to Mirrorworks, they make another one. Yep, things have gotten out of hand pretty quick. That's it for Daretti, thankfully. Moving on over to Marisi. Let's see if they can do anything about anything. A Bane of Progress would be good. I do think we have one in here since it's an elemental, but I don't quite remember. Just checked, we in fact do have a Bane of Progress. Okay, so hopefully we can get that at some point. But I'm hoping Daretti developing so well over there actually puts pressure on our opponents, as well as ourselves, to really just punch Daretti in the face. But I've hoped for that and it hasn't worked out before. Marisi's turn sees a forest drop in Mirari's Wake. Double mana again. Over to Yawgmoth's turn, swamp into play. Go for the throat, killing the treasure napper. Works for me. Yawgmoth off into Daretti. Makes sense. Jadar, Gulkar of Nephalia. Or I guess Nephalia, my bad. Didn't strike me as that good. He has a 2-drop. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, you get a Decayed zombie. So I guess it does give you the free token. It can't block though, by the way. To our turn, we get Sword of the Animist. I mean, I do want to get it down, but not yet. Go planes. Go for our commander. Go to attacks. Slap Daretti in the face. And see how things go after that. I am thinking we should also start swinging into Marisi. They do have Mirari's Wake, plus Marisi hasn't been summoned yet, so it only costs the 4. Could be dangerous. Damage is good. Daretti down to 30, up to 6 commander. Pass it off. It's a Meteor Golem. Let's see. Probably not anything on Yawgmoth's side. Yawgmoth hasn't really done too much, I don't think, compared to us. They will get a second Meteor Golem, looks like. So I'm thinking Horde of Notions and Mirari's Wake are the targets. Yep, Horde of Notions is the first one. And Mirari's Wake is the second. Horde of Notions back to the command zone. No recursion available at the moment. That's fine. We'll do Forest next turn. Painful Truths. Maybe get down the Sword of the Animist. Just so we can get Horde of Notions back down and start clearing out some lands from the deck. Could also do Elemental Bond, but I think Sword will be better at this moment. Daretti sacrifices Hedron Archive to draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get that thing dead. I had Daretti deck and then a Feldon deck, and the mana rocks that you can sacrifice to gain card draw can be super valuable in those decks. Marisi's turn brings Marisi Breaker of the Coil down for that player. Over to Yawgmoth's turn, Obrog Tomb of Yawgmoth into play. That's, is that flavor win? Or is that just like ironic? I don't know. Cage Sun coming down for Yawgmoth. More double mana. I'm starting to feel a little bit left out, but usually I don't use mana doubling anything. We can attack with a Decayed zombie. It'll be sacrificed at end of combat because it is Decayed. It's attacking off into the Daretti player. Yeah, I mean, it's a 3/3, so that works out. Maybe trade with one of the Meteor Golems. Yeah, it'll trade with the non-token one, and that makes sense because if they want to get it back to blow something up, there you go. I think at this point it's going to be better if we kind of fly under the radar and just slowly accrue advantage. Marisi hitting somebody with a creature is probably going to be not the best because it'll force us to attack, so... But I think that's the plan for now. In your case, the Decayed Zombie was sacrificed to Yawgmoth to put a -1/-1 counter on the token Meteor Golem. At end of turn, Jadar makes another zombie. Our turn sees Muldrifter. Always good to have some card draw. Let's go Forest. Let's go Elemental Bond, I think. And then let's go Muldrifter Evoked. We get 3 cards out of it. Muldrifter to the graveyard. And we're still not much of a threat. So I think let's play it like that. We get Evolving Wild, Sword of Hearth and Home, and Fault Grinder. Fault Grinder will be good against the Tomb, I wager. Well, either one, really. Let's pass it off. Daretti's turn sees Daretti come back down. And the cycle will continue. They will discard 2 cards, then draw that many. Sorry, up to 2 cards. Discard Bergie and Exotic Orchard. Okay. Yeah, it's a Hellkite Tyrant. Uh-oh. Win condition on card. It's a good card and finally got a reprint in the Strixhaven red and white deck. But, Yeah, it's not good. Over to Marisi. Shield of the Oversoul coming down. Okay, 2/2 flying and indestructible because it is green and white. Too bad it doesn't have Vigilance. That would make it a superb attacker and blocker at the moment. On the bright side, it can defend against the Hellkite. Marisi on the attack, it's off into Daretti. That's fine, that also means if they don't block, it also won't be goaded, or won't goad them at all. So we won't necessarily take all the damage from our opponents. So that's nice. Daretti goes down again. Works for me. Cobalt Coffer's into play. That had to be coming eventually, of course. Usually you don't play one without the other. It's Machias the Unhallowed. Could be Mike and Trike combo at some point. They sacrifice a zombie. It has Undying. It's a token though, won't be coming back, just for clarity. The zombie fed the ritual for Yawgmoth. The Hellkite Tyrant gets a -1/-1 counter. Toxic Deluge equals 4. Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, I mean, we can stand to lose Creeping Trailblazer. That's not too much of an issue there. Dre's board goes down, although, again, they can get meter going back. Yawgmoth and Machias still around, Marisi still around, so we will need to summon at least the Tangled, what's this, Forohedron? Yeah. For defense next turn, and hope we don't die to stuff. Woe Strider coming down. And that's a free sacrifice outlet. It also brings with it some fodder. Interesting story, I went to a release for Shadowmoor, I think. I lost to an army of goats led by the Noblest of War. So, yeah, never underestimate the goats. No attacks out Yawgmoth. Yeah, usually it's a ability-centered deck, not so much an aggressive one. To our turn, Training Center. Let's go ahead and play it. We could do Fault Grinder here, but I think I'm just going to rather do some setup instead. Let's go Tangled Forohedron. Sword of the Animist. Might as well get that down while we have the chance. And then we will do Painful Truths. We'll lose 3 life, but we'll also be able to draw 3 cards. Teleportation Circle, that can be good. Rampant Growth, Foundation Breaker is also good. Sure, let's pass it off. We need to get rid of the Caged Sun and the Cabal Coffers. Yeah, those are pretty good targets. Get down a Fault Grinder and start blinking it. I usually don't want to go for land destruction, like mass land destruction, but targeted land destruction I'm perfectly fine with using. Daretti with Electro Dominance, Yawgmoth is getting slapped with it. They can also cast something with mana value X or less from their hand without paying its mana cost. I do really like that card a lot. Tried it in, what's her name, Rutha? One of the Prismari legends. In response, Yawgmoth will sacrifice Yawgmoth to the Woe Strider. I do not see anything coming out of Daretti's hand, so I guess they didn't have anything they wanted to cast. Because it does say May on it, so you don't have to. 2 Daretti's turn proper. Let's see, tapping down some mana. It looks like a lot of it too. Hopefully not something that's going to like obliterate everything. I mean, Worldfire was unbanned, so we have to keep an eye out. It's Steel Hellkite. Yep, one of my more favorite artifact cards. And there's the Mirrorworks trigger. Over to Marisi's turn. They might just want to keep it up for defense at this point, since they don't have any other defenders, and there's a Steel Hellkite. Slapping Yawgmoth probably isn't the best idea, so usually it's going to be our face at this point that is easy to smack. I'm hoping to change that, but we'll see how things go. We have Vastwood Hydra for X equals 4. Okay, so comes into play, gets counters, dies, gives counters. Nothing too spectacular there, but at least it kind of replaces itself. Marisi on the attack. It's off into the Daretti player. Let's see if they want to block. They do not. They are down to 23. And let's see, they are goaded, so Steel Hellkite will have to attack, and somebody not the Marisi player. Yawgmoth with an Ob Nixilis Reignited. Destroy target creature is always good. Also, it's a Phyrexian Arena. It's actually one of the Planeswalkers I like more just because of the simple design. They're going to use it to destroy the Hydra. Okay. Vastwood will die, giving its counters away. Pugcrafter coming down. Sad face. My poor Tangled Forohedron. It didn't deserve it. Does help us take care of some stuff though. I was thinking of blowing up the Mirrorworks next turn, with Steel Hellkite being kind of a threat, but now we can just basically concentrate on Yawgmoth, get rid of the Caged Sun, get rid of their important lands over there. Seems like a good idea. The goat was sacrificed. It has Undying, but unfortunately, along with that face, it is not coming back. Like seriously, that has to be the most tired, pained goat I've ever seen. Yawgmoth coming back down. Yeah, never the best. Okay, I am wondering though, with the Undying, if they can get some life gain going, I think, isn't that kind of infinite? No, well, I guess they could bounce between. I don't know, gotta do some thinking on it. I know it can go infinite with one of the Undying creatures and something else. Attacks off into Daretti, that's fine with me. That'll be 11 damage. Daretti down to 12, to our turn. Our turn gives us an island, let's play it. And let's go Foundation Breaker. Alright, I have to select all the colors. Probably one of the most useful elementals I've picked up in a long time. Let's go ahead and destroy that Caged Sun with it. Seems like a good idea. Then we'll go ahead and do Teleportation Circle. I fully expect the Foundation Breaker to die at some point, but that's fine. Next turn, we get down Fault Grinder, blow up some of their lands, and have a good time. To the end step. We will blink the only creature we have. It can also blink artifacts, by the way, but that's not what we're doing in here. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of the Mirror Works. I think that'll be enough for Daretti to probably need to do something else. I think we'll leave them alone for now and see what else we can do with the board. To Daretti's turn, 3 cards in hand after the draw. Could sacrifice the Hedron to draw a couple more. Daretti with a Boom Pile. Ah, man. I just played Teleportation Circle. Sad face. We do still have Sword of the Hearth and Home, but it needs a creature. And that can be... well, that can be hard to keep on the battlefield. Boom Pile is being activated. They are floating a bunch of mana off their mana rocks. Let's see if they win the flip. And they do. I wanted Teleportation Circle. Oh well, Willstride does have Undying, so it will come back. Did Machias die at some point? Or is it just other creatures? No, it's just others. Oh well. Willstrider will make a goat. Let's see what Dareitti's going to do with the rest of the turn. We do still have the sword, like I said, Fault Grinder, Rampant Growth. I think we could get down our Commander and start trying to get some stuff back as well. It's Daretti. So they could plus, what, 2 here and discard some cards and draw some? Could be a thing. Alright, let's see what they might discard, if anything. You can't plus 2 and discard none. They discard Hellkite Igniter and Alhammarit's Archive. They're going to gamble. 50-50 chance at that point. On the bright side, gamble if Daretti or Feldon is kind of just like, I'm going to get what I want and somehow I'm going to get it anyway. Did use it in my Feldon deck as well. Actually, in my Feldon deck, originally I had T-Bolt, the original one, and he worked out fantastic until a better Chandra came along, but still. Speaking of which, if you want to check out any of my Feldon games, I'll put a link in the description below. I really like that commander. Just a lot of nostalgia there. They discard a Soul Ring, so yeah, I imagine whatever they got to keep. Not bad. Bit of a coin flip, and they won. Over to Marisi. Temple of Abandon into play. Marisi gets to scry 1. Marisi with a Hungering Hydra, X equals 5. There's a battlefield with the requisite 1/1 counters on it because it's a Hydra. It can't be blocked by more than one creature, and whenever it's dealt damage, put that many counters on it. Ah, yeah, I can see that working out in that deck pretty well. Over to Yawgmoth's turn, 2 cards in hand for them. Marisi still has 5 cards in hand, so if they just play their cards right, they could probably come out on top of this game, but we'll have to see how things go. Yawgmoth straight to combat. Willstrider off into Daretti again. They just really want them dead. Yeah, Daretti did a lot of value, and whatever they 2'd for, they got it. Daretti down to 8. Let's see if Yawgmoth does anything in the second main. It's Exsanguinate for 10. Ugh. Well, there goes Daretti. Willgirl down to 24. Marisi down to 28. And Daretti is out. Need to destroy the land. Must do the things. We get Molten Echoes. Hate being tempted with that card. Evolving Wilds into play. Let's go get a Mountain. Except for that, the next time we draw something cool. Mounted into play. And yeah, we're going to go destroy some lands. Well, a land, I suppose. Fault Grinder, hard cast. Go. I mean, it's land destruction. One of them for 7 mana. That's gotta be the most fair I've ever seen. Blow up those coffers. And we'll pass it off there. It's another Hydra. Sensing a pattern here. This one, a Voracious Hydra. There's the battlefield. Of course, it gets counters on equal to X, which is 6. Also, it looks like it has a ETB. Double the counters on it, or it fights a creature you don't control. They're going to fight off the Willstrider. Yeah, I think Yawgmoth is more or less done for now. Let's turn our attention... oh, yeah, they just straight up quit. Let's turn our attention to Marisi. We will take the 5 here. Probably get down the sword. Just to protect our guy. Molten Echoes, probably. and try to stave them off for a turn or two, we go down to 19. Their goad won't work on us either, so that's fine. Getting a lot of ramp. Not my favorite. Let's go Sword of Hearth and Home. And equip it and hope they don't have removal for it randomly. Let's go Cultivate and get some lands out of the deck. Let's go Swamp and a Mountain. We'll put the Mountain into play for now. And pass it off. Alright, let's see what they do. Game coming to a close. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do very much. Lots of removal this game. And we just really didn't hit any of our real engine value pieces. Teleportation Circle could have been good. Hey, Cultivate for them. As I was saying, Teleportation Circle could have been good. We do have some other blowing things like the Sword. We didn't hit like Risen Reef. We didn't really hit any of our other card draw besides Elemental Bond, and we didn't get to use it very much, so bit of a sad face, but we're not out of this yet. Maskwood Nexus. Okay. I mean, there are some red-green Hydras and like one red Hydra. Interesting. So right here, let's go ahead and block the 5/5 and kill it. We can take the 6, but if we just keep blocking the 6/7 and keep taking the 5, we're going to die. It goes down. It would get counters if it survived. We'll be taking 6 down to 13. Let's see what else they do at the turn, if anything. Alright, nothing else. Cool. I can live with that. We get Omnath Locust of the Royal. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and get down the Molten Echoes. We will pick Elemental, of course. And we will play the Omnath. My personal favorite of the 4, by the way. We'll deal 2 damage to our opponent. Molten Echoes will give us a copy. We'll choose to keep the original. But we do get the trigger. And we'll deal 2 more damage. Let's go ahead and play Rampant Growth. Looks like we have a response now. Adomri's Call. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Oh no, that's not good. Tutors are never good. I mean, I did play a tutor technically as well, but I'm just getting land. It's Avacyn. Man. Hate Avacyn. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get an island. Why not? We get a trigger. Omnath will have to target itself. We get a bog. Ah, too bad she's not in the graveyard. That would have been so good. Do we want to save the bog then? I think we do. I definitely think we do. Let's go to attacks. And I think... Do we want to attack with the Fault Grinder? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think we'll do the bog just to get another counter on Omnath so we can block the Hydra and kill it. That way we can get a few more counters. We'll go ahead and blink the Fault Grinder. It'll come back into play after we get a land. Let's go ahead and get a Swamp. And we have a number of triggers. All the good things are starting to happen for us now. We'll go ahead and blow up their command tower. We'll get a counter on Omnath and draw a card. Grave Sifter. Not too bad. Molten Echoes will trigger. And they give it up. Yeah, we're going to start blowing up their white sources so they can't play Avacyn. Good game to our opponents. We managed to look weak, and we got through it. That works out for me. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. But first, I am going to give it to... Yeah, I'll give it to Marisi. They played a decent game. They're doing the same strategy we were. And, yeah, I can respect it. The deck didn't quite do what it was doing, but we were just about to get to where the deck was designed to do things. And I kind of want to go over that just a little bit. I have played it a bunch before, and it got to do its thing, and it's not oppressive, I would say, but it can be super annoying. The downside for the deck, it is very slow. So I do consider it a casual deck, and no, I don't usually go around destroying everyone's lands, just like an asterisk there. And there it is, 5 to us, 1 to Marisi. Again, don't know why it's 6, so, meh, whatever. Alright, to the deck. Okay, here's the deck. Got a little bit of board wipes. We got a bunch of ramp, some mana dorks, especially the Leafkin Druid here, and the Smoke Braider, which I absolutely love the art on. I love that block. Too bad it's really expensive to get stuff. Anyway, so basically the premise here is it's elemental tribal with a lot of ETBs. We also have some recursion via our commander, Madroltha, Yarok, of course. We have Panharmonicon. Technically, for extra ETBs, we have Molten Echoes, but it also allows us to be kind of more aggro-y, and it especially works well with our Evoke creatures because they're going to die anyway, but we get double the benefit. We get to attack with one of them. It works out really well. It can also work out really well if we have that plus a Panharmonicon or a Yarok, and we have something like Aethersnipe to start bouncing things. So the deck needs pieces to get going, but it will get going if we get those pieces, and most people end up seeing that and have us die. Incandescent Soulstoke's good for that sneak attack once a turn, plus it's a Lord. Other than that, we have some other things. We have a few black cards, not too many. This could be a 4-color deck, if not for Madrotha and Yarok being such good cards. I also have Dread in the deck. It's not my favorite, and it goes away. Probably going to take that at some point for something if they make a better black elemental. Painful Truths for card draw. That was good. Species Specialist, non-elemental, but we get card draw off things dying. And people, since we're very creature-based, will want to kill our stuff all the time. Shriekmaw is just a good card. You just want to be using it. And that's it for the black cards, really. So yeah, basically ramp, elementals, Horde of Notions is kind of like... It's not like the end-all be-all for the deck. It can get stuff back, and that's fine. But it's just there to lead the deck, basically, for colors and a little bit of Reanimator. Other than that, we just use our elementals ETBs, try to blink as much as we can with Thacity Dwelling, Teleportation Circle, the Sword of Hearth and Home. We also have Soul Herder in here. Might do Mist Meadow Witch, especially if we can get to the 4-color Omnath, which currently is not in the deck because it needs a lot more landfall triggers than blink effects, but it is card draw, I guess, but I skipped over it. In your case, I'll link the deck list in the description below if you want to take a look. I rather like this deck. It's just kind of like a smattering of random stuff. It does need some tuning, though. It is a little bit clunky. It is a little bit slow. So if you do want to make a deck that's similar to this, just remember that. In either case, if you saw any cards that you wanted to purchase for yourself in paper, sealed product, or gaming accessories to protect all the glory, please consider using the affiliate links in the description below. It helps out the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a little bit slower. I might revisit this in the future just because I love elementals and the weird way they did them in Lorwyn, just like the artwork. And I do enjoy kind of like going back to older commanders and seeing what we might be able to do with them with new cards. Until the next video, stay safe out there.